Hey there, tubulars. Welcome to the latest edition of Lifestyle Tech. Now today I'm actually going to be doing a quick unboxing, on the Waring Commercial Xtreme blender here, the Raptor. Now of course I like to juice, put fruits and vegetables together, blend them up, and of course I burned up my last blender. So I decided on the Waring Commercial line here, and comparing Vitamix and Blendtec, I mean, I think for the most part, you can't really go wrong if you go with a Blendtec, Vitamix, or Waring. Now I have to use that. Now I just went ahead and I haven't opened the box, but I went ahead and pulled the tape off the box. And what you're going to get here is your 64-ounce BPA-Free polycarbonate canister there. If I can get the bag off of it. Alright, so it's a really big, well, I'll say really big. I mean, it's 64 ounces here, and as you can see, you've got your measurements here on the side if you want to do milliliters versus going ounce, depending on where you live or what you follow. And of course, we have instructions. I'm a guy, so I probably won't read that. Just kidding. Just kidding. And as you can see, so this is actually most likely the lid here. Yep, snaps right into place. Boom. Now, I have to say, I don't have specs as of this time. I might weigh this thing, but it is heavy. The motor itself is heavy. Pull this thing out. This motor is really heavy, but certainly, in my opinion, commercial grade. Now, here's the thing. If you've looked at the Blendtec line, I think one of the things that they feature is sort of an auto feature where you get the opportunity to just kind of set it and forget it. So set it up for 20 seconds or 30-second blend or 40-second blend. You can kind of walk away. You come back and your juice is ready. My thing, I love tech, but I really wanted something with like these toggle switches, something more of an analog setup where I could dial in the pulse. And I don't know, for me, I just felt like I was going to get a little bit more longevity out of that, but don't let that deter you away from a Blendtec. For me personally, I think it did. Even though I really like that automatic feature, I didn't want to take a chance. I just wanted to go a little bit of old school here, but I really feel like this is going to be able to blend up my fruits and veg. Alright, tubulars, so we're going to give this Waring commercial grade MX 1200 XTX, the Raptor, a little spin, no pun intended. This is a blender and a juicer. We, of course, have this pretty industrial motor over here. Dial it up to 10. No need for 11 on this thing because it's going to chew whatever we put in here. This copolyester 64-ounce BPA-free container. The blades, as you can see, I'm going to put all the tech specs below, and then of course underneath this, pretty much all one piece here, and metal, which I really like. There's no plastic, of course this is, but underneath, no way. Now, of course, we're going to go ahead and fit this on the base here. I'm going to use a coconut water based medium, or to kind of start us off. I'm going to put about 8 ounces in here. Actually, you know what I should do? Let me turn that around so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to put about 8 ounces of coconut water in here to start. And what we've got a little bit of red chard and some green kale, about a cup and a half of each. And I'm also going to be placing some green apple in there. Now what I did is I went ahead and at least quartered the green apple just so that I could fit it in this container. And I've got some carrot, and I just cut that in half just so, like I said, I can just fit it in the container. And a couple strawberries. Oh, and here's the thing, for those raw food folks out there, if you want to make soups in this, well, you don't have to be on a raw food diet to make soups. However, This at 3.5 peak horsepower, this sucker is going to heat the food up a little bit. I mean, not like steaming hot, but what you're going to want to do if you're juicing, you need to throw in a little bit of ice, because again, this sucker is going to move and you don't want to drink warm juice. Or maybe you do. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and fit this lid on here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start the blender at about 4 or 5 and then crank her up to 10. I'll of course leave this running. You can hear how loud it is, and you know, kind of, I don't think you'll get the full picture, but something like this can certainly have a little bit of oomph, and with that oomph, noise. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Again, we got about, I'm going to put it at about 4.5, and then I'm going to crank it up to about 10. Hopefully this should be blended in about, let's say 40-45 seconds or so. Alright, so again, this is at about 4.5. I'm actually using a shotgun mic, so straight at the blender. Now it's getting to the gravy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull that up. I'm at about 8. And that's at about 10. Alright, now dial that down. Now let's see what this pour is like. I'll tell you, with some of the blenders out there, I'm not talking maybe like Vitamix or Blendtec or some of the higher end ones like the Waring, but with some of those blenders, you kind of get a really chunky, gritty taste, especially when you're using dark leafy greens with stems and stalks, and of course if I just threw an apple in there with seeds. But I will say that is quite a smooth pour right there. So thumbs up so far, at least on the pour on this particular setup. And I don't know if you can really see the details. Nice and green and smooth. I don't feel like I actually have to chew it. So I was having an issue before with my previous blender where it just wasn't getting it, and I would sit there and blend for like minutes, and of course probably just destroy the food, heat it up and everything, and literally I still would pour it out. Chunks would come out, chunks of ice would come out, and I felt like I just had to chew the juice. And so I don't feel that way with this particular setup. So again, thumbs up on this particular device. Just picked it up, and great blender. I think it's a great piece of tech. I wanted something that's going to last because it is an investment. So invest in your tech, invest in your health, and I think it'll carry you a long way. Anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next iteration here on YouTube of Lifestyle Tech.